Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sparkles of Love's Transmissions. My name is Analarai, and our purpose here at Sparkles of Love is to provide you with the newest, most advanced tools, information, and energies, okay, to help you mm, awaken with more grace and ease and to get out of the struggle, to help you sparkle. Okay. So today we're on episode 38, and our topic today is your spiritual life versus your human life, or your human life versus your spiritual life. And I think that many of us, I know me included, have kept my everyday, my 3D life or my human life, I'll call it, and my spiritual life were very separate for a long, long time. And I don't know if anybody else has experienced that. If you have, please put it in the chat there. And what happens is we don't intentionally do it that way when we get started. Well, maybe we do because it's new and we don't feel very safe yet. So, in other lifetimes, or maybe even this lifetime, many of us have had experiences where we were rejected, abandoned, made to leave the tribe. We might have been killed or tortured because of our spiritual beliefs or because of our spiritual abilities, of our healing abilities or our channeling abilities or our gifts, our sight, our hands-on healing. So over time, over lifetimes, we've begin to become more hesitant to show that side of ourselves because it hasn't felt very safe or very welcome. And in certain lifetimes, it wasn't safe at all. It wasn't welcome at all. And you had to find secret societies or organizations, places that you could be in, and it was very private and very sacred. And then you had your everyday life. And that hiding of our gifts, that hiding of who we truly are at the authentic level, and hiding our spirituality became a way of life. It became how you survived. Because if you came out of the closet, so to speak, and said, I'm a spiritual being, I'm a channel, I'm a healer, I'm a witch, I'm a this, I'm a whatever it is that you lay claim to on your in within your gifts, it made other people uncomfortable, right? And so a lot of people grew up with fear of rejection from their spouses and partners, from their family members. And I still have clients that their family members have no idea where they are on their spiritual journey or the beliefs they hold because it doesn't feel safe to them. It doesn't feel safe to be who you are or to share that information or that knowledge. And if that resonates with you, let me know here. Just put a little heart in here and let me know that that resonates with you, that you haven't felt that you could be really open about who you are, who you what you believe in on a spiritual level. Like maybe everybody knows your belief around your politics, or maybe they know your favorite color or your favorite TV show, but they certainly don't know what your spiritual beliefs are, or maybe what your gifts are. So what happens is, I know for me, as my journey started, is that in one of my I hadn't been on my spiritual journey very long, and my name came through. And I had started hearing it. I started asking at my very first spiritual retreat for my what I call my soul name, which is Analarai. That's not the name mom and dad gave me when I was born. And so I started asking and asking. And when it came through and it was confirmed and all of those things, I only used it at spiritual gatherings or spiritual events. And it felt so sacred and so private and so important. I would get a hit of love to my heart anytime anyone called me Analarai. But when I went back to my job where I was an HR director in hospitality, I used my given name, which my parents gave me, which is Lori. And that was who I was there. Lori was one way and Anna-La-Rai was different. And there was an overlap, of course. But the more that I awakened spiritually, expanded my consciousness, and raised my own vibration, the more I did that, the greater the difference between Analarai, who is the awakening being who's expanding her consciousness, her gifts are coming in, she meditates, she behaves differently, you know, and Lori, who was the HR director and very much a human with a big ego and all kinds of other things, they became further and further apart. Okay. And that was part of my journey. And what happens and it could not just be with your name, it could be with just what you show with your journey. And what happened is, without realizing it, I was putting myself and my energy field into more and more polarity. And as you awaken, your journey is to go back into oneness, right? Into unity consciousness, to merge with all the parts of myself and to heal them and come together in wholeness. And here I was without even realizing it. And I'm creating separation in my own life because I'm behaving differently. My vibrations are differently. My name is different, you know, and I didn't realize any of that. And I don't know if that applies to any of you. I know other people on their journey that have had this very, very similar experience. And the more the vibrations on the planet rise, the more we're moving into the higher vibrations and into the ascension energies, unity consciousness, and Christ consciousness, the more difficult it is to remain in polarity. And I think for many of us, it's been this aha moment where, wow, I realize that my 3D life over here with my children or my partner or simply my friends and my job and my spiritual life when I go to retreats or when I do meditation or when I, you know, help heal people or get on a Zoom call with a favorite spiritual teacher, they're separate. They're very separate. They're hidden from one another. Maybe my 3D life isn't hidden from my spiritual friends or my spiritual life, but my spiritual life is often very hidden and very low key in my everyday life. And that creates this turmoil and confusion within your body and within your soul and within your energy field because you're trying to be what you see as two different things, right? And as we move along, if we don't recognize that we're holding ourselves in polarity, that we're holding ourselves in at least two different vibrations, maybe more, depending on how segmented your life is. Like maybe you have your spiritual life and your 3D life, and maybe your work life is different. And then maybe you have another group of friends that your energy and how you interact is totally different. So we're splitting ourselves into all of these different places rather than moving into the oneness and the unity consciousness. And in one of my favorite series of books and movies, Harry Potter, they even give a name for it. They identified the people who were non-magical as muggles. I love the term. It's kind of fun. And that's what I often refer to as muggles, as people who are not awakened yet. And I mean no disrespect to those who aren't awakened. They just haven't started their journey yet. But even there, having a separate name for people, identifying them, again, moves us into more and more separation. And so those of you that are here with me live, where in your life are you in separation or polarity? Where do you hold, what parts of your life do you Well, I'm back. I don't know what happened there. So, some technical difficulties. So, I think I was sharing with you that at this time on planet Earth, we're trying to come back into unity consciousness, trying to come back into that level of oneness. And that's about where the expansion of our consciousness, moving into the higher vibrations. So, I asked the question, where in your life are you more in a spiritual mode and a human mode? And are they different? And it appears one person is saying, good question. Sometimes when I read or follow the world news, I feel like I fall out of my spiritual mode. And that doesn't have to be what you would consider your spiritual mode, but you want to be aware of your vibration. You can always still read the news, but where are you reading it from? From what perspective? Okay. And it hasn't, as I said earlier, it hasn't been safe for a lot of us to step to amalgamate or integrate the two things. But this is where it is time. Here and now, if you want to expand your consciousness, if you want to move to the higher vibrations, you can't stay in that polarity. You can't stay in it. Um, One of the things I did a while ago is when I left my corporate job, which is over 10 years now, and started Sparkles of Love, is that I stopped going by the name my parents gave me. Now, here in Canada, I looked into legally changing it, and it was going to be a huge process and a lot of money, and I talked to my guides and it just wasn't worth it. So legally, when the passport control looks at me, it's still Lori Sagal. And but whenever I introduce myself, whenever I'm speaking, whenever I'm with friends, it's what my husband and all his family and all call me Ana-La-Rai, because that is what resonates with me. That is the name I have called. And I have worked hard to ensure that I'm living my spiritual life every day, as each of you can. Now, I will admit that it was easier to do when I left my corporate world because, there I was considered woo woo and probably just plain old weird. And, but the more that you can do it, the more you can move into that oneness and amalgamate or integrate your spiritual life in your day to day life, the better it is for you. Because that resistance, when we're holding ourselves as different pieces at different vibrations, maybe with different names, is not healthy for us on any level, an emotional level, a spiritual level, even a physical level, right? Because you're just sending these confusing signals to the body. One says I'm this, and the other signal says I'm this, and at this minute I'm going here, so this is what I am. And so Urik says, I feel more safe to shine my light these days. I'm so glad to hear you say that. That's so important. I discovered one key element is to let everyone be as they are, full acceptance to speak. Yeah. So just as we want to be who we are, so does everybody else. We want to honor everybody else's sovereignty and their choices, right? Um, but really take a look at where in your life you're holding the polarity. Where are you hiding your spirituality? Do your partners know what you really believe? Do they know what's important to you? Do they understand why you disappear and go do a morning meditation or say a mantra, or do they understand why you want to spend money on spiritual books or going to retreats? Do your kids know that you're not just the cook and the bottle washer and the cleaning lady? Do they know that you are in this process of growth and understanding more and you need to spend more time in nature or something like that? And so, um, Adesel says, I hold polarity when I'm in a low vibration. Well, not necessarily, because the polarity, that would mean you're in a low vibration and a high vibration. So if you're at the extreme. So You're probably not in polarity when you're in a low vibration. You're just in a low vibration. But where in your life do you separate your human life and your spiritual life, right? Where and yes, we want to move our vibration. Like maybe the polarity is that today I'm in polarity because part of the day I'm in a high vibration and part of the day I'm in a low vibration. But all of that comes with learning to work with your energy and moving into mastery so that you can stay less time in a lower vibration and learn how to raise your vibration and move it up. But we want to move away from the polarities within us, right? The polarities within us. So, what are you doing in your life? What ways are you doing that you're probably in polarity with your spiritual journey and your human life, right? Which ways? Does calling yourself by your spiritual name and your human name feel different? Does hiding what you do, the book you're reading, or the movies you're watching, or the what you watch online, does it feel different when it's something from your human life and something from your spiritual life, right? So you want to look at how can you bring those together, because the sooner you can integrate them and live your whole life as a spiritual being, right? Because you're just a spiritual being having a human experience down here. So the more that you can step in and not be afraid of being rejected, not being afraid of, you know, being ridiculed and in past lives being killed or tortured or thrown out, once you can move past that, then it's easier to live the authentic being that you are, the authentic spiritual being who is awakened, who understands there's more than just this third dimensional experience, and who is expanding their consciousness. It will be easier on your body. It will be easier on your soul. It will be easier on your life. And I think you're going to find that you won't be rejected in the way you think you are. I think often our fears around this are bigger than the reality of it. And you'll reach a certain stage in your own development, in your own spiritual development, that it won't really matter what everybody else thinks. It won't really matter, because you start to feel levels of self-love and self-acceptance and sovereignty that you let everyone else have their own experience, and what everybody thinks of you is none of your business. So I would really encourage you to look in your own life as to where you're in separation. Where are you holding different vibrations? Where are you living your life differently by your different beliefs? By your different beliefs. All right, I want to do a quick, I'm just, because I got frozen there earlier, I'm just going to do a short download. I'm going to do 3 minutes here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just ask that we download the vibrations of oneness. Okay? Oneness. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes now. And if you're driving, you don't want to do this. Okay? So let's close our eyes and just see, feel, or sense as I call forth on that vibration from source, that pure source light, that vibration of oneness, which in actually is the vibration of love. So just feel and receive this vibration of love, or you may call it the vibration of oneness, and allow it to come into your body. And don't worry, for those of you that don't feel energy, you're still going to receive it. And it's just going to flow into your body wherever it's needed most. It's going to come down through your soul star chakra, 6 inches above your head, and down into your crown, and then flow through the chakra system and through the energy, through the physical body and down across your shoulders. It's just going to flow into your immune system and your nervous system, to your digestive system and all your organs. Beautiful. Just receive. Just this final piece of the download here of that vibration of oneness, the vibration of love. All right. I just want to remind you too that if you want your spiritual journey to be a little easier, everybody has a path, and it's what I call their primary path. And there are 4 different ones I've discovered. And on my website sparklesoflove.love, you can take a 4-minute quiz and find out what is your primary path. So it's the way that it's the easiest for you to awaken. Okay. And it doesn't mean whether you do Reiki or pranic healing or follow shamanic practices. That's not what it is. It's this broad 4 different types of paths. And you'll also receive this beautiful gift, this energetic tool called the sifter that will help you on a daily basis. It's like dusting your house, but it cleanses your energy field. And so that's on my front page of my website. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you'd hit like and the bell there to subscribe. I also do YouTube shorts, and today's the 29th of May, and will be doing I will have managed to do a video a day in the month of May here. So, and anyone that is looking for my number one product recommendation, just go under my videos. It's not a short, and it's all about eye care. Okay. It's always my pleasure to be here with you live on Thursdays. And thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate everybody being here. So go out and amalgamate and integrate your human 3D life with your spiritual life and feel the difference it makes in your energy field. Big hugs, everybody. I'm Ana-La-Rai. Bye for now.